Okay, I did study for, well, not I did study, I did work in the field of chemical engineer. I'm a chemical engineer actually, and I did work with projects with the industry, and also I taught at the university to chemical engineers. But at the end, because I was all those years, many years, 25 years doing that, all the time I wanted to do it better and better, you know, to provoke a better learning in our students. And that's why I did study a PhD in innovation in education. So one thing leads to another, right? Everything is like connected. So anyway, at the moment, we are working with a big project there that the government gave us 320,000 million pesos, Mexican pesos, which is a lot of money. 320 million pesos. I mean, $1 is equivalent to 20 pesos, Mexican pesos. So you make your numbers there, no? Okay. So anyway, that's the name that it's above, the National Laboratory on Smart Sustainable Energy Management and Technology Training. And that has 13 projects, sub-projects. I am going to talk to you about only 2 of them. I'm going to share what we are doing on that. And one is this one, Interdisciplinary, Collaborative, and Open Innovation to Train in Energy Sustainability through MOOCs, Open Energy Network. I'm going to talk about only about the network we have. This is a knowledge building communities. I mean, I think you are here because you want to know about this, and we are doing this network. So this is one of the things I want to share. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what is this. Open Energy Networks occurs within the framework of the project, the National Laboratory Smart Sustainable Energy Management and Technology Training, funded by the National Council of Science and Technology, called CONACYT, and the Mexican Energy Secretariat. Open Energy Network intention is to design together possible academic and research links around the subject of educational technology innovation and open access. This is the main thing, you know. We want a network of people internationally that are interested in open access, because this is what is changing really with technology. So our activities are mainly 4. This is the aim of the project, you know. Knowledge transfer, visibility, research. You know, all the people here in this project are people that do a lot of research, and training. So later on, I'm going to talk about one project that has to do with training and open access, and this training is through MOOCs, you know. Okay. Oh, please, if you want to ask something, interrupt, or say something, go ahead. The activities. The activities we do in this Open Energy Lab are experimentation, openness, collaboration, participation. So for example, work from the culture of prototyping, the error, the curiosity, the discovery. Open, to promote the production of open knowledge and open practices mobilization mechanism. Collaboration, to promote horizontal process of co-creation, dialogue, and joint construction. And participation, incorporating the diversity of action, community, and outrage. And for example, this was our first mini project, okay? So what we did here is our educational model, Al Tecnológico de Monterrey, is changing. And we have 1 week that is called Week I. I for idea, I for innovation, I for whatever, the I. So that week, all the students at the university stop doing what they do in classes and they go and work in a project, okay? So this project was the Laboratory of Open Educational Resources on Energy Sustainability. The purpose was that the students gathered by teams had to produce something, a video, an infogram, a poster, whatever. They had to produce something that show and train other people in sustainability. So they had during that week to do some research, they had to do some conversations between them, some talking, and then be creative and all that to realize, design a product that was going to be open access, that product to train the community. So some had ideas of how can we save money out of electricity? So how can we teach the children to save money at their homes? You know, how can we teach the secondary students to not waste too much paper? How can we, I don't know, many ideas they had. So in this week, all the students at the university, they go and get into 1 week E, 1 week I. And that week is any project. In this project, in any project, the maximum of students is 25. But in this project, we had 120 students that wanted to be in the project. So we gathered them by teams of 5. Those, each team had to produce 1 product. And we also had the help of some other professors, teachers, students from master's degree, from PhD, a diversity of technicians and many people around. We gathered all the people like a social laboratory. This was a social laboratory for innovation. So at the end of the week, every day they had different activities for learning, for discussing, you know, and at the end of the week, they produced mainly videos. But those videos had, for example, the legend of Creative Commons, you know, to be legally open access and all that, because they learned that. Students were very happy at the end because they said, oh, I never did a video in this way. I never thought that this is the way to do the things, you know? And we all learn about that. We are there gathered at the library, you know, the main hall of the library, and for that photograph. So this was one project, one mini project of this network, Open Energy Network. Okay, so what is next in this project? Focus, generate a work agenda through the development of projects aimed at the research, training and linking in educational innovation and energy sustainability. Participants, 42 participants and coordination of experts in strategic planning with technology, roadmap strategy. Results, 5 projects that involve a process, product, or technological development. All the people there, around there, is people around the world, people that we met when we did study our PhD in other countries, people that wants to work that, All of you are very welcome if you want to work with us. Next week, Eddie is going there to Mexico. He has been invited. He is going to see what we are doing. So we are doing like a big network to do that, to do one project that has to do with open access, that has to do with all these new things. Okay, also visibility is important in this. Focus, enhance the visibility of the scientific and technological production of innovation, of training in visibility and dissemination of open knowledge with the RITEC. RITEC is a repository, it's a space where we are leaving all the information for our institution, but it's open to everybody. So we have like a special place where we leave all the information, like papers we are doing, projects we are doing, and that repository is going to be very important. Very important. It's called RITEC, Tech for Tecnológico de Monterrey. Participants, 120 universities, professors, and 85 participation of UNESCO Share Open Educational Movement for Latin America. And results, 205 certifications on the subject of open access. I have to give you a little bit of context. Our institution, Tecnológico de Monterrey, has 34 campuses all around Mexico. So almost we have one campus at each state in Mexico, almost, not really, but almost. So that's why we gather many people, we know many people, and we have many contacts, you know? Okay. Also, Open Visibility Project founded by National Council of Science and Technology support. So, well, this is the same. Another project, and future meetings, October 2nd, 3rd, 2018. The networking meeting will be held in the city of Monterrey. You have your house there, mi casa, su casa, and aims to foster the collaboration of national and international higher education institutions, research networks, and companies in the energy sector in order to identify projects for the development of scientific and technological capacities associated with energy sustainability. Why we are talking about energy sustainability? This whole big project, the Binational Laboratory, is about sustainability. In Mexico, we have a lot of wind, a lot of sun, a lot of rain, a lot of rivers. So there are many ways of promoting. We have a lot of potential for different energies, not only the conventional ones that we know. So the idea here is to develop the country through everything, you know. That's why we have 13 projects, mini projects in that big project. And some of them has to do with more engineering or more technological things, and others, these two that we are talking about, has to do with education. So that's the idea. And in March 2019, we did the Worldwide Universities Network meeting. So we are going to have another meeting. So we gather together, we meet, we discuss the way you are doing here. This is like a starting point for doing more bigger things, you know? So this is one of the presentations of the projects I wanted to share with you. Okay, Tecnológico de Monterrey is known in Mexico, is the very best first school in Mexico for engineering. I mean, it's really good at engineering. Also, because Monterrey is an industrial city, you know, it moves all Mexico, all the business, Monterrey. So it's like all together there, you know, like the industry, the students, the school, everything is there, you know. So the people are very active, proactive there. So we have a lot of projects at this school, a lot of links with the industry. So it's like very easy. It's like an extension of the university is all the industry. So that's why we connect, for example, we have a plant, a very innovative plant that produces energy from the garbage, you know. The garbage, the one way of getting rid of the garbage is to put it under land, you know, in the soil. And that way, they do that, but they produce gases, and those gases, they collect it through pipes, and with the gas, they convert that into electricity. So we make electricity, the electricity of the city comes from the garbage, the biogases from the garbage. So I invited, because I arranged this project, I invited the person who is in charge of that plant, the power electrical plant, and he came with us here, explained to the students how they are doing this, so they were motivated. We went to visit the plant, we visit all the place of the garbage, of the place of the pipelines and the electricity, and they learn all that, and then they got like, we were talking about ethics, you know, a little bit before, so they get like engaged into this process of they wanted to make these videos for the community. So it was a gain at the end, you know, for everybody. Is that more or less? How do we get the ideas? I don't know, but we talk with people, we work a lot, we think a lot, we are very active, and one thing leads to another. That's the way. I'm going to talk to you about another project, which is teaching or training the whole community, because everybody can take these classes or these courses, that is MOOCs, through MOOCs. And it's called Interdisciplinary, Collaborative and Open Innovation to Train in Energy Sustainability through MOOCs. Okay, so the objective is to support the formation of human resources specialized in energy sustainability and develop human talent with the necessary capabilities to respond to the technological conditions prevailing in the energy value chain, electric sector. Through graduate programs, massive open online courses that will be available nationwide and validate through competencies certification process. Okay, so the products of this one is 10 graduate students from PhD, 12 MOOCs developed, 2 community workshops, 2 books, 15 research papers, 18 conference participations, 18 short-term scholar programs, 1 web page, 1 social innovation lab, 1 institutional repository with energy, and 12 technical reports. We have done all that, so that's the checklist, okay? So in a minute, I'll come back and show you the page Energy Lab, or you can write it down, because they are really impressive. So we started on 2016 with the design of 4 MOOCs. Then another 4 MOOCs design, 4 MOOCs teaching, then 4 MOOCs design, 8 MOOCs teaching, and then 12 MOOCs teaching. So next year is the end of this project, of this big project. Right. Now, what we have, energy experts, research group on energy and climate change. These are engineering people. School of Engineering and Science, Business School, expert guest. Educational innovation expert, that's where I am. School of Humanities and Education, graduate students. And teaching and learning experts, e-learning team and teaching team. Because making a MOOC, it's not that easy because the students have to learn on their own. So it must be everything very clear, very to engage the people, to like it, to continue there. It's not that easy. Each MOOC lasted 6 weeks, So it's enough time so they can, it was free, but at the end, if you want a certificate, you had to pay about, I don't know, $12 or something like symbolic, right? Right, so look at the sequence of the MOOCs, how we teach in an open access. This is the subject. You can see, there it is. The blue ones are the MOOCs, like the basic concepts, So basic concepts, energy, past, present, and future. Everybody, we had students from 18 years old till 90 years old. Elderly people and very young people, from secondary. People that work, people that don't have a work and said, okay, I'm going to study, I'm not doing anything. So it is really a good idea of teaching and training in an open access. For example, the Mexican energy reform and its opportunities. That's another MOOC. So the basics are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of the people took this MOOC. We had 1,700 people that were in the first 4 MOOCs. 17,500, yeah, okay? And then the basic theoretical energy markets, for example, and carbon markets, energy saving. Okay, so those are basics. Then we have the more advanced ones, like the purple ones. The purples are theoretical, experimental. And at the end, for example, smart grid, that was for a more reduced population, people that had a degree in electrical engineering, because smart grids is like a strategy of getting electricity and in a combination of methods, So that one was more difficult and also had, I think it was that one, remote laboratories. I mean, real equipment that you can gather on the distance so the people could learn a little bit more about mechanical things, okay? Okay, so that was the idea. Then, learner's profile. So, 17 years old, high school, wants to learn about energy sustainability, choose MOOCs as a training program to achieve their goals. So, whoever had the curiosity to know about sustainability, this was an opportunity because you can take one MOOC, then another MOOC, then another MOOC, and then you go learning and you can get the certificate. So, well, that's the model. We had a design that had gamification, a flipped classroom, remote labs, and many ideas. It's a bit complicated, but okay, there you have it. Activities, they had activities and evaluation, They have videos, all that. So it was very difficult to do this. Don't think it was in one day. It has been really hard work, okay? Okay, then gamification. They were playing with tokens, you know. This is for the people to get like interested. Virtual reality, to explain things more that are more complicated, because everything you explain through a MOOC has to be explained by itself. You cannot be there, you know. That's the problem. Augmented reality we had also, educational innovation elements, remote labs. We can connect from here to a remote lab if you want. We can try it later. Biometrics. Okay, so those are what happened at the end. You know, those are the MOOCs, the results of the MOOCs. Okay, so enroll 6,022 in the first MOOC, certificates 1,031, completions 17%. Normally, on the literature, you can find that it is around 8-9%, you know, the completion of the MOOCs. I mean, it's not that big number. Talking about numbers and data. Okay, so, well, you can see that's the list of what happened. And again, and we continue doing that. Okay, so, learners. I'm going to read only one. I have taken many MOOCs across platforms, and few courses I have completed, among them this course. When I compare it, I find that this course has high quality content, resources are well made, and the proposed activities are not only quizzes but more motivating, such as networking and the gamification challenge, which helped me to apply my knowledge and share it with others. Regards, Marta Argueta. Okay, so good ideas, bad ideas. Also, this is the scientific production. You know, for example, well, I'm going to take some links. Let me see. So you can see. I left the first one only with the DOI, you know, the DOI. And the other articles, they have the handle because they are in the repository of the Tecnológico, right? So once we have our reference ready with the DOI, then we put that into the repository of the Tecnológico, so everybody can have it, and we can gather the information in a better way, you know, like handle the data. So all these are our products until last year. Publications. Okay, collaboration as well. Establish partnerships with experts and professors in MOOCs-related areas in order to learn from experiences on designing and teaching MOOCs. What happened? We needed for each MOOC a specialist, you know, an engineer that knows about sustainability to teach that MOOC. Also, we needed people, technicians, people that produce the videos and everything, so we can get a really good MOOC that stands by itself, that can allow the students to learn by itself. Okay, so that's why we had people learning all over our campus and Mexico. And then we had these research projects, because there were people that were doing, along with the MOOCs, the research. What is happening with the information? How are they learning? What they do, what they don't do, how we do this better, in a better way. Then participate in short-term scholar programs for tech professors and graduate students. You know, we had some people we had 10 students of PhD that went to different universities around the world for 3 months. So then we increased our network of people that collaborate with us. Write and publish research papers, all the time, writing and publishing all the time. So, well, that's it. If you have any question.
I knew about these figures before. So how did you manage to engage such amount of students or learners?
Okay, it's a good question. I'm going to explain a little bit about the context over there at our school, and then probably you will understand better. Tecnológico de Monterrey has been always, tough. That's the word. So then the students that goes there really are good students. So we have a community of people that are excellent and overrated, and I don't know how to explain this. That makes a particular selection of people working there. So then we had in this project people from different fields. So one was in charge only of promoting this. Other is in charge only of, the videos. Specialist in charge of something, Some of us had to do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit, because when you coordinate. But mainly, for example, I love this because I'm a chemical engineer, and sustainability must be everywhere now. Everything, always, the whole life is our nature must be sustainable. Everything, we cannot overdo the things. I mean, if you have 2 pesos, you live with 2 pesos. It's very easy, right? Okay, so then, but I couldn't work in that because there were other people working in that, I had to do innovation. So that's why at the end, every piece of the whole make the whole better. That was the way. And 13 projects. At each project, only at MOOCs, we are about, we are, about 15 professors and, PhD, 13 PhD students, and the secretary, the assistant, many people.
But can you tell us a little bit more about what were the strategies that you used in order to engage the students and learners? Was it that the person who was in charge of the promotion, that's your secret weapon, or or is it that is there any particular strategy or that you can actually share with us in terms of engaging such an amount of learners, or is it because the Tecnológico Monterrey has such a reputation that everyone will go naturally?
Yeah, that both. I mean, it has its reputation, so if you go there, you say, yes, whatever you do, I'm here. I want to learn at this school. That's one reason. But the other one, the motivation is there. It's in the environment, and also, for example, I have one PhD student. He's doing remote laboratories because that's what I do. I teach math with a remote laboratory, so you can understand. It's a tank that it goes empty and it goes full, and you have to calculate the time that it goes empty, and so he's doing that because he likes that. He's an engineer studying, and he's, I think, computational engineer or something like that, studying a PhD in education, in innovation in education. So he needs what he knows, but now he needs how he explains, how he engage a student to learn better, so that's what we are doing.
the energy market, the energy market in Mexico has been liberalized. So from a monopoly has been actually now accessible to everyone. So that is a topical issue at the moment. Perhaps that's, so do you think is that the reason why there's such an interest on the topic, or?
This project, the government wanted to do this, and he tried with another university, I'm not going to say the name, but at the end they didn't perform, you know, so then he said, okay, you tech, do it. It's like, I don't like you very much because you are a private sector, but really it's, I don't know. So anyway, it came to us. It is important, and we are really getting some very good products out of the project, you know. It's our complex planning, you know, a Gantt diagram with activities and people involved and times that you have to finish, you have to do this now, you have to do that. And not everybody is in the project. It's really the people that is really engaged in doing that, you know, wants to do because it's a personal thing that you want to do better for your community. So that's it.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yes.
Any other questions?
I just had a question around how you measure engagement. 'Cause I think
How we measure what?
How you measure engagement, because sometimes I think that completions is a slightly kind of blunt metric, and sometimes often I've heard criticisms of things, about poor completion rates. But actually, I've used lots of MOOCs but completed none of them. But the learning has still been really useful. So I wondered if you had other methods of measuring the engagement of people that were.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. It's very difficult to measure learnings. I mean, you can measure, you know how to add, you know how to multiply, but to measure learnings and motivations is very difficult. But through questionnaires, through interviews, we gather a lot of instruments, to get like the best, and we are still in that process. We are doing that. I mean, it's not that I have an answer, because nothing is like absolute. There is no absolute. I mean, that's a mistake. It's at the moment what we have is perceptions. We can measure the perception of the students that were in those MOOCs, and there were many people, so that helps us a little bit to have a light, and then probably we'll do another thing. But I can tell you about the perception of the people who got the certificate, and those are, I don't know, thousands, 1,000, 2,000 people. That's a big number. Yeah. Okay, so anyone is welcome to join us, to work with us. If we don't have the money, we get the money. We invent it. I don't know, but we do whatever we need to get what we want to do. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.